Welcome back, and we are making our next Dalmatian ornament. It's a really cool project where we are making ornaments out of yarn. And some you receive in your kits either black yarn or white yarn. And these, you only can make, there's enough material to only make one of them, so please return these to the center so we can hang them on the tree. And they will be in your kit where, again, you either have white or black yarn. It's all random. Right here I have black, a balloon. You should have 2 little cups of glue. And in my kit I have 1. We also have extra right here on the side, so that's okay. And a little container of white powder of cornstarch. The first step to do this project, we'll get your balloon, blow it up to maybe like a softball size ornament shape. Not too big, don't blow it too big. This is big enough right here. And then you tie the end of the balloon. If you need help, ask an adult or a family member to tie it for you. So this will be the shape of our ornament, just like this one right here. And the next step will be to get a bowl and get your glue. Go ahead and pour your glue in. And you should have 2 containers. And it should be enough. I'm gonna pour my glue in there, and I only have 1 in my kit, so I'm gonna pour a little bit more glue from a bottle. Just like this, in any bowl, and it should clean right off when you're done. And I want to put a little water, so maybe for each container of glue, maybe put a container of water. So I have 1 there, 2. I want to add a little bit. You don't have to add the whole cornstarch, just maybe like half of it in there. It's just to firm up the glue once it's dry a little bit better. For example, this white one's a lot firmer. It still has a blue in it, but it's a lot firmer. And this black one is not as firm because I did not use cornstarch in it. So add the cornstarch to it to stiffen up the yarn. And you can use your fingers because this is something you can be a little dirty. You may have a piece of paper or a shirt that you don't mind getting a little dirty with glue and water, or I mean, it washes off. It's non-toxic, everything you're using, so it's safe. So I'm just using my finger to mix the water, the glue, and the cornstarch. And so we get another piece of paper. Actually, you also are receiving wax paper, freezer paper. So this is a good idea you can use this. So your balloon won't stick to the table, or when it's drying, or stick to paper. If you use newspaper, it might stick to it. So I'm using, and you have some too in your kit. It's just a shiny white paper. It's hot freezer paper. And then I'm gonna use my black yarn. And again, you might either have black or white depending on what kit you happen to grab. But it's fine because we're using black and white again for the Dalmatian theme, with like the color of the fur and their spots. You can dip your yarn in there just a little bit to make it a little wet. Get it soaked up. And then, again, it gets a little dirty, but it's okay. You can, if you want to help you guide putting the yarn on the ornament or on your balloon, tie a knot at where you blew the air into, right here, and then kind of just like guide the balloon or guide the yarn against the balloon and kind of press against it. And the goal is to crisscross and trying not to leave so many bare empty spots. You want it to be mostly covered. See, like this side will be too bare, so I will try to go over it with my yarn. And I'm also using my other fingers to hold down certain sections of the yarn. Just do your best. This is pretty decently covered. And then once you do that, where you have a little space, maybe just tuck in the yarn underneath another piece like this. Because once it dries out, it'll harden, so it won't be so loose. And if you have extra glue water mixture with cornstarch, if you want, if you don't think it has enough on it, you can just always just like roll it in the container like this. And it will take some time to dry, so it's not gonna be ready to go in a few hours. It's gonna probably need 12 to 24 hours to completely dry and stiffen up. So that's why once you have it soaked, you put it somewhere safe and you put on your freezer paper to let it dry. And once you have that part done, you can use a pencil. And so this is the yarn once it's dried. And the balloon's still here, so I have to remove the balloon. So I'm just using a pencil to loosely or slowly loosen the balloon and the yarn. You hear a little cracking noise because that's the glue and the cornstarch on the balloon. Hear that noise? And once you think you have enough somewhat loose, you can grab a pair of scissors. And cut the base of the balloon. You can pop it, but you know, it might scare people. So I just cut like the base of it where once you tied it. Let's see. A little cut there. I can hear the air coming out. And see, once the air gets let out, the balloon also gets off the yarn. Let's see, there's some more air in there. Let me cut a bigger hole. And slowly remove the balloon from the yarn. Let's see, let me cut this off. Let's see. And just be careful doing it, because I know some parts might stuck. I think I have a little piece of tape here because I was using a different type of balloon, and I was using it to round it off better. You shouldn't have an issue with that because your balloon will be more rounded than the one I was using earlier. And you just have to work with it a little bit, pull it apart, but at the same time keeping the shape of the ornament. So there we go. We have an example of a white ornament. So this makes our white ornament. And I'll let this dry for 12 to 24 hours. Maybe just wait for the next day to remove and pop the balloon. And then you have your yarn ornament. Again, bring it back though, so you can use it for the tree because you only have enough in this kit to make one. And I'll see you next time for our next Dalmatian ornament.